All right, here we go. This is week number 2 of our Monday night Zooms. What we're going to do today is I'm going to cover a topic on advantage and disadvantage. It's a kind of important topic to me. I think it helps out with our game flow tremendously. But beforehand, does anybody have any questions from last week's new rules presentations that Tom Cummings put on? All right, since we have no questions, I'm going to go ahead and quickly share the screen. Actually, share screen, here we go. All right, are you guys seeing the Globus screen, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So just, for your future reference, under trainings in 2022, here's the YouTube link from last week. If you missed last week's meeting and you want to receive credit for that, the link is available right here. Last week, I also found out on Tuesday after our meeting that US Lacrosse came out with their rules video. It's about 17 minutes long. It's right there. The slides for both the new rules and the slides for the face-offs are also available here. So if you want to visit that, again, that's somewhere for you to visit throughout, okay? Any questions with that? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on in then to the PowerPoint itself for advantage and disadvantage here.
Yeah.
All right, stop. I'm sorry, you got people jumping in here. Share. And slideshow from beginning. All right. So again, I can't see you guys right now the way I have it shared. So if you have questions, just stop me along the way. But the topic tonight we're talking about is advantage and disadvantage. And it's relating to technical fouls. So US Lacrosse Game Management Section 8 talks about the order of fouls that we should take into consideration as officials. Starting off with safety fouls, right? Those are the personal fouls, the body checks, slashing, cross checks, and unnecessary roughness penalties that we have to call in order to maintain a degree of safety in our sport. The second level is conduct and behavior fouls. These ones are typically done by coaches, occasionally players on the field, that brings a negative impact, a negative view on our sport. The third level are the obvious fouls, and I like to call these the line fouls, the fouls that deal with the crease or with offsides. Anybody else can see them in the stadium. We need to be able to get them as well. But the last type of foul we're looking at is the advantage and disadvantage fouls, and most of those will fall under the technical foul category. So we're going to talk about those technical fouls as we move forward. So when I bring up the word advantage and disadvantage, we got to ask ourselves, when we judge technical fouls, did the team that committed the foul gain an advantage? Or was the team that was fouled disadvantaged? If you can answer yes to any of those questions, then we need to have a foul. But if not, we want to pass on those. We want to live to officiate another day. If we called every single tic-tac technical foul out there, we would be on for some very long games. So the principle of advantage and disadvantage is what's going to allow us to try to dictate a very good game flow by only penalizing what causes a team to be advantaged or disadvantaged. And we'll break that down in a few minutes for different categories. So a lot of words on my screen. I apologize for that. I know, I don't have a lot of words, or shouldn't have a lot of words, but I'm not going to read through them all. I'm going to highlight some key points here. Pushes. When we call a push, right, we need to make sure that push is from the rear. If it's from the front or the side, it's legal, right? So pushing is permitted from the front or the side when you have an opponent has possession of the ball or is within 5 yards of a loose ball. So when we talk about pushes, we're looking at them from the rear. So you can see from this picture here, the rear is the back of the opponent, not the side. we'll see some video examples of both pushes from the side and the rear, so for us to kind of dictate what happens. Now, as far as advantage and disadvantage goes, okay, I'm going to give us an example. We have A1 running down the field, clearing the ball, and P1 and B1 pushes him from behind, okay, making him stumble briefly. If A1 doesn't fall or doesn't lose possession of the ball, then A1 wasn't disadvantaged, right? B1 gained nothing from pushing him from behind, okay? So we should pass on those. But in the same situation, if it causes A1 to go out of bounds, to go off sides, to step into the crease, to lose possession, to miss a pass, or to take away a scoring opportunity, now we have an advantage gained, okay? So we have some different situations there where we're talking about what is advantage and what is disadvantage, okay? I'm going to stop here and ask for any questions on the first section here. All right, no questions, and thank you, gentlemen, for putting your name and ID number into the chat. All right, running right through. So pushes, I think, are the most common technical foul we'll see. I think the next most common one we're going to look at are holds. Again, there's a bunch of words in the holds. You know, the player may not use the portion of his handle between his hands to hold an opponent. You can't step on the cross, yada, yada, yada. I'm assuming we're in level 2, so we should be familiar with definitions. If not, let's go ahead and review those definitions on your own, right? Take that, that is, you know, your, as a professional, that's kind of what we should take a look there. So when is holding permitted though? All right, so you can hold an opponent, right, who has possession of the ball, okay, or 5 yards, or within 5 yards of a loose ball from the front or side, all right, given that there is no more than equal pressure, right? So that equal pressure is kind of something we're trying to identify. What is equal pressure? So we've commonly referred to this as the cross-check hold, okay? And again, this hold check needs to be done with the hands closed, forearms or shoulder, and both hands should be on the cross. So when you are holding him from the front or side, you want to make sure you don't exert more than equal pressure. You shouldn't have a thrusting motion in there, okay? You can also hold the cross of the opponent, okay, with your own cross, and you can hold the cross of an opponent who has possession or is within 5 yards of a loose ball, okay? But the big thing is, right, when you're talking about equal pressure, we don't want to see any kind of thrusting motion in there. So holds, when should we call them? Well, when it takes a player off his path towards a goal, okay? When it prevents or slows down a fast break opportunity, when you're holding a player from behind, preventing him from getting to a ball, okay? And this is the body of a player from behind, or you're holding a player that allows the defensive slide into that area. And the fourth one is kind of a difficult one to officiate because it might be a quick hold, but if it's enough to allow the slide, okay, we are disadvantaging that attack team. Any questions with holds? All right, moving through. Let's continue. And interference. So when we talk about interference, right, a player should not interfere in any manner with the free movement of an opponent, except when that opponent has possession of the ball's in flight within 5 yards, or both players are within 5 yards. So that 5 yard category again pops up here at interference, right? If they're within 5 yards of a loose ball, okay, or 5 yards of the player possession, it's probably going to be legal, okay? So what are some examples of interference? Well, the big one we see in front of the crease, right, is we have someone checks out, he checks to stick out of the hand when the ball's more than 5 yards away. So you have an attack man usually in front of the crease waiting for a pass, and you got a defender there. The ball's clearly more than 5 yards away. He's just kind of that ticky-tack stuff right in front. If it knocks his hand, if it knocks the cross loose, though, we probably need to call that interference. When you body check a player, and I'm using the word body check because it's not to the level of a personal foul, but when you take a player to the ground while the ball is more than 5 yards away. So he passes the ball, 1,001, 1,002, not a violent hit that's going to be the safety one, but you take him to the ground. You're disadvantaging that player, and the ball's more than 5 yards away. When you knock a player into the crease, when the ball is more than 5 yards away. So again, you got the ball on the top of the attack box, and you have an attack player that's curving around the crease, going around the crease, circling around the crease, and the defender just kind of nudges him in there, gives enough pressure to put him in there. Well, the ball's more than 5 yards away. Okay, that's interference. We have interference. Okay, and essentially we have a crease violation as well, but the crease violation happened because of the interference. And the last one, I think, actually is one that Bob Walters kind of talked to me about. Is any extra BS you can't really categorize. You got the players jabbing, you know, crossing to the hips. They're on the crease, back and forth. So interference is something that we can kind of use when we can't really categorize it, but the ball's more than 5 yards away. Are there any questions on interference? Excellent. All right, warding. All right, so there was a definition change last year on warding. I'll kind of highlight it, but essentially, ward, we're looking for the free hand or arm to push, hold, or control the direction of the opponent. Okay, so the free hand is the first thing. A player that has possession of the ball and both hands on its cross shall not use his hand or arm to push the body of the player. But the definition change last year allowed a player to have both hands on his cross and direct the cross of that opponent. So it's really causing some, you know, judgment for us. And I have some examples here. Does he move the body, or does he move the cross of the opponent when he has both hands on his sticks, on his cross? So warding, really, we want contact. We need contact, right? You need contact in order to gain that separation. If there's no contact, you can't call the warding. Just because I'm lifting my arm up doesn't mean I'm trying to we're trying to ward. Like a lot of times, again, we get the defender who's poke checking or checking their distance, and the attack player is just clearing his hand. That's not gaining separation. Okay. Most of the time, there's a hand off the cross. Okay, but again, we can have it done with both hands on the cross if he directs that body. And finally, if you hear half the people yelling for a hold and the other half the people yelling for a ward, just let it be. It's probably nothing. Okay. That's just going to be lacrosse, and sometimes it's the lacrosse that we see where we live. Any questions with wards? Man, you guys are loving this here. Illegal screens. What we want to see with the illegal screen, right, from the attack player, from the offensive player, we want to see their feet no more than shoulder width apart and the stick straight up and down. We also don't want to see the lean, okay, or even the roll. I've seen some lean and roll. The attack player leans and then kind of rolls down to the ground and almost takes the defender with them. So that lean and roll we should call an illegal screen. So stationary, feet shoulder width apart, cross vertical, okay. In order to call an illegal screen, though, just like the ward, we need contact, okay. If there's no contact, if the guy's running towards the defender trying to screen him, the defender keeps on running away, you don't have an illegal screen because there's no contact. The feet or body are moving before the contact, okay? Again, also look for after that contact, that roll or shift, sometimes that causes the defender. And a lot of times, I think these attack players are taught to do that roll and take the defender down with them. I think we need to have an illegal screen on that as well. Leaning into is usually the easiest one to catch. And again, the feet, just schematics of it. All right, any questions with the legal screens? All right, the last part about advantage and disadvantage is allowing play to go on. And play-ons, play-ons were originally invented as a way of keeping game flow when horns were allowed to allow any substitution. Well, since essentially horns were eliminated about 10 years ago, we still do play-ons, but they don't really help out the game flow nearly as much as they used to. So my recommendation is keep all the play-ons short. So they're intended to allow the game to gain the flow when a team is disadvantaged, or when a team is not disadvantaged and technically fouled. So you want to keep, how do I put this? You want to have the attack team continue to have their advantage. So an example would be if they're going north and south in a fast break, that's a good chance to have a good quick play on, okay? If you have a open player and a man advantage and a scoring opportunity, and you have a loose ball push, you go quick play on. And if they're able to get a quick and clean possession, and those are both important rules. I remember one of my first three-man games, I worked with Dick Dooley and Tom Ellis, and we were working at Naperville Central, like they're up Nike Park or something. And it was a pretty good game. They played a Lincoln Way team that was really good. And I had a Lincoln Way player going to scoop the ball, and he was pushed from the rear. I had a play on for a loose ball push. Well, then he goes to scoop it again, and he gets it in his cross. And as he turns, he's hit and loses possession again. He never really gained his advantage. But I went ahead and I ended the play on once he picked up the ball, but he never had a chance to get a quick and clean possession. So that's what we want. If we have that play on, we want to make sure that the team that's fouled has a chance to get that quick and clean possession. Play-ons, near the sideline and inline, we shouldn't have those very long because they're not going to get much advantage if they're towards the sideline or inline. If there's a bunch of players around there, don't even do the play on. Hit the whistle, right? There's no point. If you're having 8 players around you, you're not going to get any kind of advantage. And if it's east-west, keep them short. Keep them really short in front of the crease, though, because nothing good can happen in front of the crease. Okay. Any questions with play-ons? All right. Last thing about advantage, disadvantage isn't actually dealing with technical fouls, but it's our perception as officials when we hit the field, right? Sometimes we trouble ourselves, and coaches will perceive an advantage or disadvantage, okay? We come out of the field, maybe we've worked one of your local schools 5 or 6 times, and you know that coach, right? And you might know them by their first name. Yeah, I'm a big fan of just yes, coach, no coach, but try to show the same respect each way. Coach, sir, try to show the same amount of time with each of the coaches and players, okay? If you're offering stick checks, which we do, in varsity level games, guys, if you need your stick checks, we'll be over there and up until the 10-minute mark. Make sure you let both coaches know. I prefer to do my pre-games with both coaches present at the same time. It just allows me to show an open line of communication with both coaches, make sure we're all on the same page. But if one team perceives that there's an advantage, they're going to try to find a way to use it against you. Okay. So I'm going to stop the share here real quick and transition to some videos. Over the last couple of weeks, I've went through maybe 8 or 10 videos from last year and got some good plays for some discussion. I have maybe 10, 12 plays, and then I have some you make the call videos at the end for us to kind of lead to. So any questions before I continue? Okay, So let me
Hey,
go.
before we get into the videos, if you guys have not put your name and your IHSA number into the chat, make sure you do it because that's how we're doing credit for IHSA. So make sure you do that into the chat. Thank you.
All right. So and just take me a few minutes. I didn't put this in a playlist. I had them in a couple different ones because I wanted to try it out. The first one we're looking for, actually, I'll play it through once. So it's on this outlet pass here. If you notice in the middle of the field, it wasn't much, but was there an advantage gained? And I'll pause it when the contact's going to happen. We have a pass. And we notice here we have the player in yellow that's kind of in chase mode as the blue team player is trying to pick up a outlet pass. Okay. He continues on, and we have the action, the contact occurs in the rear, right? And we have the ball now that's out there. What we have is we have an advantage gained. Okay. The kid from yellow pushed the guy in the rear, caused him to miss that pass. Okay. This ball's going north-south. Nobody's really around. We should have a very, very quick play on, if any. Okay. So if we go through it, quick play on, nothing's going to happen. Let's go ahead and push it back, and let's give the ball to blue and continue on. Okay. Thoughts on that? Are we okay with pushes on that situation there? Everybody go with the push? Okay.
Hey, Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
A mechanics point on that one. This is Bob Walters. And depending on if you're in a 2-man or a 3-man game, the lead may have the best look at that. The lead's already down the field, especially if you're in a 3-man. Lead's already down the field. You probably have guys just kind of trying to find their position. Look upfield as the ball's crossing midfield. There's no rule that says who can or can't call that. But I think that's one of the points that Cummings will emphasize a little more when we get to 3-man, is that the lead can help with a lot of these plays around midfield. So just a point to be aware of. If you're downfield, the lead's there, everything's settled, look upfield. You might be able to help your partners out.
Thank you, Bob. They gave me some chance to take a look at some video errors I was having, like with this situation here. Unfortunately, let's see. Is it showing up? All right, here we go. All right. So Control Shift S to slow the speed. All right. What I want to look for here is the approach angle. How is the player approaching the action over here? So let's play through it. Number 16 in blue is who our key is here. Again, he's approaching from that rear angle, right? So if we see the contact happens right here, it happens, you know, in the rear. So when we figure out what the rear is, that's kind of what we're looking for. Now, one of the keys that we could do as officials, right? If we're taking a look at, not necessarily watching the ball, but where is the defender coming from? That will kind of help us out to see some of these fouls that are occurring in this situation here. So we had a loose ball. I believe it was a loose ball. Loose ball push.
Jeremy, you think he pushed him in the back?
I do. So, but I'm good. I'm open for thoughts on this.
I guess this is a tough angle too, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's hard to see where he actually. I mean, does he? Because it looks like he comes straight at him. But yeah, I can see what you mean, coming from behind.
Yeah, I think where
like
I have
the goal beat him.
Yeah, where I have it at now, right? If you look at the angle that 16's approaching from, right? He's chasing him almost the entire time, and the contact occurs. You can see again the contact's occurring right here. I think in the rear. I want you to take a look at this one and the next one, and I think the next one will kind of show us a different. And this is one that, again, this is, I guess, first off, let me, if you see yourself on video here, don't, we're not trying to embarrass anybody, right? I just went through, again, like eight videos trying to find some different situations there. So I'm not trying to embarrass anybody with any of these. This one, the trail does a piss poor job, but we'll watch it if it works. The trail's me, by the way, so I can say that. All right, so the question, ask yourself, where does this contact occur? And you, hopefully you're saying this
Look
contact
like
occurred.
shoulder to me.
Yeah, right in the side, right? This contact
Yeah.
occurred right in the side. And you can, again, we can legally push a player from the front or side, right? That's within 5 yards of a loose ball. Clearly, I didn't have that. Part of it is I'm too close. And this was in a 3-man game. I was nudging myself up to the top of the restraining line. By getting myself too close to the play, I think I got myself a bad look at this, and I was sold on a foul that wasn't a foul, and something that should have been legal. So, one of my things is I try to stay a little bit wider than others. And the reason is, if you stay a little bit wider, maybe a little further back, you can get a good perspective on everything. Now, as the ball comes up here as a trail, I should start backing up. And this is something that Steve Eckelberry covered tonight in level 1. The ball's at the red line, and as trail, I'm already below that. There is no point. If there's a quick turnover, I'm beat and I'm out of luck. So I know I'm going mechanics a little bit there, but in this situation, we have a legal play here that was incorrectly called a push. All right, we got over here. Number 5. Okay, I thought this was a very good one here. Okay. So we're going to look for a cross crease pass here. And we talk about what advantages, right? Well, we watch it one more time. I have it in slow motion. Right after the shooter releases the ball, right? Number 23, you see, and again, I believe this contact is coming from the rear, okay? Puts the shooter right into the crease. Now we have lead over here, right? Who I believe has this as a crease violation. Single side was actually watching the previous passer. I think he should, because it was a quick pass. So he's watching his previous passer. Since single side is kind of looking at his previous passer. Lead has, goal line responsibility. He has crease responsibility, but he might not see this approach angle over here. And I think who can help us out in this situation really is a trail. And it's hard, right? Trail, he's fishing right in front of the lead. But the perspective of where we're at, he misses, I believe he misses this push here in the rear that puts the guy in. Are there thoughts on this play here?
Play it again.
Jeremy, you had a play on. What's the play on for? For crease violation?
I'm assuming that's the lead has a plan for a crease violation.
Then you should be
no
killing
play
anyways
on
because
there.
you got a guy next to
There's
the
no
goal.
play on, yeah.
Okay. So again, we talk about keeping the plans quick and short, right?
But the goalie can't move. When you got players in the crease around them, that's a total whatever you're looking at, right?
Yeah, John, how about that one time that we had a player in the net and you're like, no, let me go to the play on. But I
took my ass showing up for that one.
I'm talking years before the Roar one. I'm talking we had a play up north, and I digress. But we talk about plans in general, right? Keep them short.
Yeah.
I'm talking plans should nearly be non-existent. We really don't need them. They do help out game flow, but we don't need them. And only bad things can happen.
Yeah.
But for this situation here, again, I'm looking at the push and it's a unique situation, but I think the trail can help out with this here, with this push in the situation here.
So the single,
He don't have no angle.
So what if
you
you
can see the
notice
push in the
here,
back. If
what
he's
I-
watching the shooter,
He's
I'm
not got no, look at his eyes,
take
Tommy.
a look at the passer right here.
I know that. Look at
he's
his eyes.
looking-
He's looking in the wrong spot.
No, Tom, he's not. I don't think he's transitioned yet. He's looking at this passer here.
I
He's
think
looking
he's looking in the right spot with
You
Jared.
can
I'm
look
with
through
Jeremy.
the
He's got the right
passer and
spot.
see the, you gotta have the
it's-
shooter.
it's been again, we know single side's primary for shooter, right? So he's going to transition, but it's just not fast enough, right? But Trail also has the perspective of everything, and he needs to kind of see this in the situation here as well.
Not
As-
denying
as
the
a
trail can't
single-
help, but the single should be looking through the pass and see the shooter.
The single needs to be moved in from there. We cannot be that
Oh,
far
yeah.
away from the play when the guy's on the crease.
Totally
There's no
true,
way.
Stat. Totally true. Way out of position.
But
20 yards
thi-
away.
But you can't have the single leave 3 guys.
I agree with that one veteran right there too. Again, it's
I-
bang, clear this one, move to your next one. But that's why we thought that in 3-man, that's the advantage of having 3-man. If we only
Yes.
had a 2-man game, Trail stuck over here, nobody sees that.
Right.
So the advantage of having 3-man is knowing, okay, if there's some other action, I might stay on there, even though my primary
Why,
responsibility.
why don't you let the trail find the pass and the
The
single
trail-
take the shooter like he
The
should?
trail's the opposite side. This is
I don't know
single
which
you're
side
talking
the
about right
trail-
now. This is a
Yeah.
single where Jeremy's at. It's single on the 20.
So we got the single over here. No,
That's a single. There's no trail, Tommy. Help.
So. I
I'm
don't,
looking in the single. That's what I'm counting on. And the trail, if he's there, can help. Even from 40 yards away, the trail can help that pass.
He should be helping he should be helping lead, Tommy. Trail should be on the strong ball side. Once you switch strong ball, the trail's got to be here next to Jeremy or whoever's the lead is on the far side of the screen.
I'll
That's
tell you,
strong ball.
either guy can help there. Either the single could probably help because once that pass is gone, the single can stay with the passer. But if there's nothing, you can easily
Yeah.
see over through where the shooter
Well,
is.
you're not
But
going to see the back.
I agree with.
I think the
Tom. I
main
agree
point
with
is the
Tom's-
trail has to do something to help us.
Yeah,
Correct.
he's
I agree
gotta
with
help
Tom
the lead.
first. Yeah.
But you're not going to
Too
see
many
the back.
trails are lazy and don't get there. So whatever, the trail
Tommy,
has to help.
what do we see? If you got to see the back, if he's looking at you, we don't call push in the back, right? That's a single can't call a push, basically, by rule. All right.
Right.
did you say, what'd you say, John?
I said by rule, if you see the front, you're not gonna call push in the back.
I think that's how
That's the-
mechanically how we.
That's
we-
mechanically look at it.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
mean-
this is the last one for the push category here. I have one more, but I'm not going to show it. This one, let's just play through. And this we've all seen this, right? We got the ball knocked loose. The attacker kind of slows down. It's hard, right? There's this little nudge there, right? That gets him right in his butt, right? Gets him right in his rear. But it's enough to disadvantage him. Okay.
Why is this guy in the back here looking at the ball? The guy, the lead official down there has the ball.
So we have the
This guy
lead.
in single here should not be looking at the damn ball.
Yeah, so, but here's what we can pick mechanics here. Right now, again, we're focusing on the actual foul himself. So we have another night from mechanics coming up here. We can talk about them. But what I do want to talk about is what I liked about this crew, right? We had this loose ball push, boom. All right, he blew the whistle, pick it up, right? Loose ball push. Come to the alley. All right, move it out to the alley. It's so easy to just say, let's restart it right here, right? But he moves it out to the alley, which is the proper way for that. Any questions with some pushes there? I know we got a lot of plays with that. All right, I'm gonna move on. Someone stopped me at about the 10-minute mark left because I have some video plays to show for us to kind of vote on. Holds. Where did I put all the holds at? Here they are. Oh man, don't do that. Hold on. Sorry guys. And let me go back to my share screen on the Zoom. All right, let's see what I got over here. Control Shift S. So we're looking at this action happens right away. You got the kind of a little bit of a body hook, right? But he doesn't do much to take it away. Now, some of you might argue that this little body hook causes 14 to kind of pull out. But to me, this isn't big enough for a hold, right? This should not be a hold. We need to see more, something else taken away from this player. Okay, so if I start off with this over here is what we should not call a hold from this kind of a hook on the player. Okay, the next one I think is what we should call. All right, and again, go back here. Oops, hold on. Control Shift S, slow mo. All right, so similar situation. We have a player dodging and driving towards the cage. You know, it's this player here gets him kind of high, and you see that pullback. So I wanted to see more than that first video clip we saw here. And we have the player from behind with his cross pulling back, and he gets up high. A lot of times these two tend to ride high, but we want to call these as holds. So the first situation is something we should pass on and let go. No advantage gained. This one here, there's a clear advantage gained, and it not on a side of safety yet, but it could raise to a safety level concern as well. But in that situation, we just should have a 30-second hold on the defensive team. Third one we're going to look at here is, all right, let's see. All right, play it, Control Shift S, play. Black screen of death, we all see right now, that's okay. Everybody still see black or no? It's just me.
Still seeing black.
Oh, here it is. Okay, cool. Control Shift S. So we have two separate actions here. All right. The first one I'm okay with, but it's very close to being more than equal pressure, right? And there's almost a thrusting motion here by this defender. Puts him to the ground. The second one clearly rides him in his back, right? Doesn't allow him up. That should be a hold all day long. We want to go quick, super quick with the play on. How is 3 going to get any kind of advantage? He's not. He's not going to get any kind of advantage. There's no need to have our hands up for 3-4 seconds. Okay. You know, eventually he got the ball, but if we killed it right away, you know, it would save us some possibility of having more problems. And then this last one for holds. Let's see what I did on this one here. This is almost, I think this is good preventive officiating over here by the lead. You notice here behind the play, we have some stupid shit going on. What are these dudes doing? I don't know. This is what we talk about with that interference. They're holding hands, which is fine if they want to. But there's a bunch of stupid shit going on over there. Lead, stop it, find something, and let's go, right? Technical fouls, you know, if we know what they are, if we know the rules, we can use them to our advantage. And that's one of the things about that helps out with game flow. So I can't tell you if white started it or blue started it, but it's no point of letting this go any further back over here. If you see it, let's stop it. We have a loose ball hold, loose ball interference, loose ball push, loose ball kisses, whatever you want to call it, and be done. Any questions with that, with holds? All right, next set to talk about our holds, interference. I know I'll go Bush. No, quit doing what I'm doing. Sorry guys, I'm running multiple screens and attempting to share them. All right. Interference number 1. All right, let's play through it. We're going to look at action over here in the far side of the screen. We have number 2 making a pass. It's deflected by the defender. And we have another goal player come in. So the first thing we got to identify is there possession or is the ball loose? Well, in this case here, I'm the single, and I think I had possession, and I believe that's why I went with the legal screen. But what I want to talk about it, if the ball is loose, that's a legal play, right? If the ball is loose, they're all within 5 yards of the loose ball. That's a good move by number 6 there, right? To kind of let him clear his path. No safety fouls there, nothing personal foul with that, okay? But in this situation here, right, if we have possession and it occurs, now we have an illegal screen, okay? An illegal screen, drop the ball, get moving, and go. So we have to know possession or not in possession. These next 2, these are 2 plays here. I'm going to play through. And so the clip's a little bit longer here. So we talked about the jabbing of the cross. So here, again, a three-man game over here where you have single and the face-off helper kind of getting ready for the action over here. As the wing official, right, we have to identify who's our trouble. And right now, we're both in trouble. Both these guys are really close to each other, so we got to let it play out a little bit. Okay, I want you to take a look at 23 and 28. Right in front of the camera, right before the whistle's going on there. And you notice what they did right before the face-off, right? You notice them look down the wing line where the bench side official will be, because he has his eye right on there. He sees them and he's telling them the same thing. Knock it off, knock it off, because nothing good. They're not within 5 yards of the ball. Nothing good happens from that, right? So the face-off goes, 23 kind of got himself lost on there. Now, 2 face-offs later, same position, okay? Sometimes you got to know the mechanics in order to break them, right? In this situation here, Tom Ellis comes up. Tom Ellis was on that same side 2 face-offs ago. He knew what was happening. He knew the same 2 guys. So he's coming up there. He's given a little bit of ground, but he's using some good preventive officiating to stop anything stupid from occurring again. Okay, so hey, he's just talking to the boys and saying, don't do anything stupid here. And you notice here, it will clean it up. So I think that was a great use of preventive officiating by Tom on this situation here to prevent anything else from happening for interference wise.
Great cast.
Yeah. Again, sometimes you have to break the mechanics in order, to kind of get a good game flow there. All right. Another interference. Control Shift S. Let's see. I'm gonna let it play out while I look at my notes. My blue passes it, 1001, 1002. Again, I don't think it rises to the level of a illegal body check or a cross check, right? But you got to penalize this. Ball's more than 5 yards away, puts them to the ground. They're going to be out of a player, flag down. That's a quick, easy interference, right? No need to put it for a minute. I don't think it rose to the level of 1 minute fouls. So we can go from there. Are there any questions with interferences? All right. I want to talk, I had a couple wards, miscellaneous, and then I had a couple just unique ones I found. All right. Control Shift S. Goofy screen. Let's get into it. The player possession over here. Does he gain an advantage by this action here? So we take a look at it. Kind of puts his body to him, a little bit of a nudge, but to me, there's no advantage gained from this. It's not enough, you know, for us to see a ward. Not only that, he does have both hands on his cross, and although we said you could have warding with both hands on your cross, that action here to me isn't the level of a ward. Okay. Just that little nudge to me isn't enough, especially again, he's pulling out going north-south. Now, this next one I want to show is look at the difference between these two. And by identifying differences between some of these fouls, it will allow us to kind of understand, okay, what is a ward and what isn't. So 23 picks up the ball. He's wearing his mask. It was very rare last year, but he wears his. You can see he's running with one hand. He's running with one hand on the cross the entire time. He takes his forearm, right, as like a lead running back and just uses that free arm. To me, that's what we're looking for this wards. He's just using his free arm and pushing through. Okay. Are we okay with wards? Those are, I know, some of the tough ones to see. All right, last couple here. Legal procedure. This one here. What I do? So we got a shot on goal. Look at 15. 15 just comes by and kicks the across to the keeper. I don't know who single side on this one is. I don't know if it's I don't know who it is, but I thought that's a hell of a call. Quick play on though. There's no point in having a play on up here for again 2-3 seconds, right? I think it might be Greg Smith there. Maybe gives a signal. And to me, I thought that was a great call. Sees that it kicks the cross over there. So I thought that was a great job in that one. A lot of these games, guys, again, I'm not even on there. I just went through YouTube and found a bunch of videos. So this next one, you know what? I'm not going to talk about this next one. It's a mechanic. Let's see. All right, 33. All right, this is the last one I want to show before I go into the You Make the Call series. We'll let it play out here. Anybody notice what happened there? I'm gonna let you guys unmute yourself and can anybody tell me what happened in this play?
Handball.
All right, we have a player. touching the ball.
Handball, that's totally right.
Yeah, okay. So going mechanically, right? Trail should see that, right? I think Trail. No way Single's gonna see it, right? Or Lead's gonna see it. Trail's gonna see it. So not only do we have a ball legally touched by Green, it's also last touched by Green. Okay. I can't tell if White touched it there. They might have, I don't know. Well, you know, White knows they're getting the ball because 19 touched it. No one stepped up to see this. No one stepped up to correct this call. You know, he's like, come on, man, he touched it with his hand. He's even showing me he touched it with his hand. Somebody on the crew needs to step up and see this. We talked about the obvious fouls. If we miss this one, you know, we lose a lot of our credibility in that game. Okay. So that's just something I noticed there from that. All right. So let's do this. I have a series of You Make the Calls. I'm not going to, I'm going to pop up. Let me pop up the poll. All right. Well, hold on. Do we see number 1 on here? Shoot, I probably should have just did one at a time. Dang it. That's okay. All right. Let me hit the play button. Let's look at number 1 only. Okay. And we're looking for either a push or possession, a loose ball push or no foul on this action right there. So for number one, go ahead and answer number one. We'll play it back one more time. We're looking at this action against the guy with the ball. You have a push possession, loose ball push, or no foul, continue play. So I'll give you guys about 10 seconds to answer this question number one. And I think the best way to do it is to let you just answer all these. Actually, I don't know. All right, let's in poll. Sorry, did I have share results? Did anybody see that besides me or no?
Yeah,
Got it.
I don't see the answers on there for number one. Shoot.
Jeremy, how do we vote? I didn't get anything to vote.
Yeah.
it says in the mid, it says at the middle top, it says poll. You hit the poll button there.
All right. But did
You have
everybody
to
vote?
answer every single one before it'll let you submit it.
Gosh dang it. Thank you for that. And I don't have, unfortunately, okay. I don't have time to go back and edit the pool. That's my fault there. That first play, did we have it as a push with possession, a loose ball push, or no foul? Who had it? Who wants to kind of man up there and tell me what they had?
Jeremy
Push
had
in the
nothing.
back.
I heard one push in the back, one no foul. John, why'd you have no foul?
Because the way the angle was, it looked like top shoulder, and also just the way the guy was sliding his foot. You know, there's really no advantage in that situation.
Okay, how about
Yeah,
the
top
person-
shoulder is considered the back.
Yeah, I understand that.
So the rear, right? We're looking. So
Look at the rear.
let's talk rear versus back, right?
You're right.
I thought the action was in back. I thought the contact was in back. Okay. I thought it caused the defender to go down. All right. Now he got right back up. Okay. So to me, that's one of those borderline ones, but it caused him to go down. I probably would have erred on a push. But I'm also okay. Again, this is the reason these are 50-50 calls here. You know, you got to tell yourself, did he have an advantage game from there? Okay. And to me, there was a slight enough advantage that I think we probably needed to call that as a foul. Anybody have anything on this play? Shout out if you have it. If not, I'll move on to the next one.
Besides the legal playoff or play, face
A
off.
lot- Well, I'm not looking at the face off. I'm looking at the action.
And you just don't see much.
It's quick, right? Some of these fouls on the face offs occur quickly here. What is number 7 doing with his cross on the edge of the screen?
He's carrying the ball in the back of his cross for about 4 or 5 steps. It
Well,
should be.
So you would have nothing, Jeremy. You'd have a turnover first to be
No, okay.
red,
so,
red ball.
Here, what I'm looking for is this action over here. This
Right.
action by 7 red.
He's hooking him, trying to slow him down.
He's holding him. If the ball's loose, I think here, right? I think the ball's loose. Okay, first off. But what 7's doing is, yeah. And again, maybe we do have, this is old school video. This is- but-
It's stuck in the back of his cross, though.
All right, yeah, what I'm looking for, I'm looking at this. So on the face off, we have to put ourselves, so let's not worry about the ball being stuck right now, because again, apparently it is. I'm looking at this action here by number 7, this underhook. He's using his stick to hold the body. Okay. That right there should be a hold. Okay.
Jeremy, I see what you're saying here, but look how far he is away from the face-off dot. He's at least 3 or 4 steps away with the ball in the back of his cross. So he's withholding that ball far before that hold happens there. That ball should go to red.
What I'm saying is this: forget the ball. I agree with you. I didn't realize the ball. When I looked for this clip, it was strictly looking for this hold by the face-off player from behind, and that's what I want to talk about for this situation here. Okay. Yes, I know from you guys and your great eyes and the mind not paying attention when I saw it. We know the player that won the clap is withholding it, right? But in a situation where the ball is loose, and we have this action by number 7 here, okay? He's holding the body. You can hold the cross, okay, but you can't hold the body.
Well, how much of advantage does he get here? I
Yeah.
understand if the ball's
Yeah.
loose, I agree
Yeah.
it's a hold. At this
It's a-
situation, if he's beating him down the field, I'd like to see it go a little bit further.
Right, because he didn't impede his play. In other words, his momentum didn't stop, right? He just pushed right through that
Yeah,
play.
if he's going on the field and he's not getting stopped, I'm letting it go.
Yeah,
He's beat
agree.
him. I don't have anything there. He beat him.
Agree. That
And
I'm
if
with
the
Tom.
ball's loose,
It
I agree.
definitely-
Ball's loose, you
definitely
gotta
is.
hold.
No, agreed. So the answer on the polls would have been hold, quick play on, A gains north, south, and moves on. So the answer on the poll would have been, loose ball, hold, play on. So that's what I
Well,
would.
I gotta jump in here. This is a perfect example of where you may want to have officials, if the play is stopped, to talk, because you could have two different fouls in one in each of the officials' heads that they would want to come together and confirm. Because the one might have withholding where it's coming towards him, and the one from behind is seeing the hold that we're talking to.
Yeah, and that was a 2-man game. I think in a 3-man game, you might have, what foul happened first, and clearly we know the foul that happened
The
first.
problem
was-
is you got 4, if you got a 2-man game, you got 4 eyes on one play. I'm not coming together and talking in a 2-man game. I'm letting the guy, the unofficial, make that call. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna trust my partner. I'm gonna talk to him afterwards, but I'm not gonna come running in there and stop the game in a 2-man game and say, let's talk about this. I'm gonna let the unofficial make that call.
All right, I'm gonna hit this one up here. Again, I wanted to get some good discussion. We have a shot, okay? So we know on the shot, over and back is off the table right now. So we got the shot that goes into the defensive side of the field. And what's happening with these two players over here?
Free play, baby.
Well, they're within 5 of the loose
They're
ball.
within 5
Yeah,
yards, right? That's the
side.
thing, gotta understand, right? They're within 5 yards. That's okay. It might look bad, it might look on the field, but this is happening within 5 yards. That is legal interference, okay? Black stops right there. He's closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds. Black
Still
ball.
not out of bounds.
It eventually came out of bounds, right? There it is. Now it's out of bounds. Plus, not only that, we're going to go definition, right? We know it looks like this gray line here is the out of bounds line, and white is not in bounds, so he can't be the closest inbound player to it as well. All right. Do I have one more I want to show you? Let's see. All right. You know what? I'll stop it here. It's 8:58. It's good enough. I wanted to generate some discussion through these plays, and unfortunately the poll situation didn't work. But hopefully we gained a better understanding of advantage and disadvantage moving forward, because that's something we want. If we officiate advantage, disadvantage better, it helps us to have a better game flow. Are there any last questions or concerns before I stop this recording and say thank you for joining? All right, everybody threw their name in the chat. And
Yeah, I didn't get my official number in there though.
All right. If you have an IHSA ID, Gary, throw it on there. Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna stop recording here.